of the version and also the very prominent reason that it derives its power from the divine law, that is Audi Ultim Partem, which means that no one should be condemned unheard. Through this webinar, our eminent speaker, CA Advocate Dr. Gaurav Gupta, would like to engage with all of you about the topic Show Cause Notice under GST, a critical analysis. Moving further, I will now ask our chairman, Nauzone, Mr. H.L. Madan, to formally welcome our dignitaries present for this session.
Thank you. Honorable National President, AIFTP, Shri D.K. Gandhi ji, Chief Guest of the session. Respected Guest of Honors, Pankaj Ghia ji, Deputy President, AIFTP. Respected Madam Jamna Shukla ji, Secretary General, AIFTP, along with respected Zone Vice President, Dr. Naveen Ratan ji. Respected our national famed speaker, CA Advocate Dr. Gaurav Gupta ji. Respected all NEC members, my office bearers, Vice Chairman, Secretary, Treasurer, and Joint Secretaries, and all other Executive Committee members present in the webinar. Respected seniors, my advisors, dear professional brothers and sisters, joining from different states, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to all. First of all, many congratulations to our Chief Guest, Shri D.K. Gandhi ji, on being elected unopposed National President, to Shri Pankaj Ghia ji on his election as Deputy President, and Madam Jamna Shukla ji on her election as First Lady Secretary General of the Federation. First Lady Secretary General of the Federation. I request all the members for a big applause, clapping for all these honorable guests.
Thank you.
A very warm welcome on behalf of North Zone to all the guests, and we are extremely grateful for accepting our invitation to grace this occasion and to give your blessings for a successful webinar. Our special welcome to our guest speaker on indirect taxes, CA Advocate Dr. Gaurav Gupta ji, who is a national famed speaker, former co-chairman at PhD Chamber of Commerce and special invitee on Indirect Tax Committee of ICI for many years. He is author on book on service tax and now on GST books, and a great orator as well. He has been requested to deliberate upon the critical issues in show cause notices being issued to taxpayers in the whole country in all the states. Friends, as you are aware now that after filing of returns, etc., for the last 3-4 years, almost 4 years completed, now the government attention has been to that side because they have completed this return part is over now, and now they want that these return checking should be started. So everywhere, all type of notices on registration, on for assessment, for 73, 74, etc., government has started giving these notices. So we want to understand that what type of notices it can be, under which section it can, these are being received, what type of a notice and what type of a reply should go on. And we have a speaker like Dr. Gaurav Gupta, who has both academic knowledge as well as practical experience as well. So he will be speaking on that topic. I will not take much of your time on this issue. A very big welcome to all NEC members present in the webinar. I also welcome my office bearers, executive committee members present in the webinar, and those who could not made it possible to come today. Friends, I will not speak about the topic and leave it to our great speaker, and thereafter to be concluded by our Vice President, Dr. Naveen Ratan ji. I wish all of you a good health and all happiness. एक बार फिर से आप सभी का स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन। मैं अपने गेस्ट स्पीकर साहब से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो अपने लेक्चर में इंग्लिश के साथ साथ थोड़ा हिंदी का भी मिश्रण जरूर करें, समावेश जरूर करें, क्योंकि हमारे काफी सारे मेंबर्स का रिक्वेस्ट आया है कि सर इंग्लिश के साथ साथ थोड़ा हिंदी में भी एक्सप्लेन करवाइएगा स्पीकर साहब से, क्योंकि उन्हें पता है डॉक्टर गौरव गुप्ता बहुत ही बेहतरीन इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, SRCC के स्टूडेंट रहे हैं, हाईली नॉलेजेबल पर्सन है, तो सब पूरा नेशन उनको जानता है, तो इसलिए उन्होंने स्पेशल रिक्वेस्ट किया कि गौरव भाई से रिक्वेस्ट करिएगा तो थोड़ा सा हिंदी में मिक्स करके भी बोलेंगे। तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आपका एक बार फिर से स्वागत करते हुए थैंक यू सो मच। आई हैंड ओवर द माइक टू मैडम
Rimika Khera.
Rimika, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Next, I'll invite our First Lady Secretary General, Mrs. Jamna Shukla, to say a few words.
Thank you, Rimika ji. Respected National President, today's Chief Guest, Deputy President Pankaj Ghia ji, and National Vice President Naveen Rattan ji, North Zone, all the seniors present here, respected seniors, my colleagues, friends, and delegates, and of course, Gaurav Gupta ji. Just now I was hearing about you, sir. You are, of course, certainly I know much about many things about you, but many things yet to be known after your detailed introduction, because I think I am attending your first time this lecture. By some reason I couldn't attend earlier. So it's really a matter of proud that we have today such a national fame speaker who will be delivering on a very important topic. You know, notices, no doubt the topic is so-called notice, but otherwise also many times we find that practically many people file their returns by themselves, but when some notice comes to them, then they come to our offices, they seek the help of professionals. So otherwise also these notices are very important, and nowadays GST so-called notice is a matter of really learning. We need to learn how we have to deal to it. So topic chosen by this our I forgot to take name Zone Chairman HL Madanji, Secretary Ranjit Sharma ji, Treasurer is there, and Sanjay Verma ji, and all other my friends. I forgot to tell narrate your names. Sorry. And with this, I wish very grand success to today's seminar, and I hope we will be having a great learning after his deliberation. And at last, I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to express my views and making me part of this prestigious event today.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. Next, we move on to our Deputy President, AIFT, Mr. Pankaj Ghia, for his valuable words.
Thank you and good afternoon to everybody. It's a real privilege for me to be attending the North Zone seminar webinar and to be delivered by Dr. Gaurav Gupta. The issue chosen is remarkable because it is the need of the hour. Every professional is struggling, I would say, because of the flood of notices being received. And the department is not giving much time. They are issuing summons, they are issuing pre-show cause notice, they are issuing letters, they are issuing show cause notices, and everybody is flabbergasted, I would say, what to do and what not to do, which to reply and which not to reply. And there is always a difference between the show cause or pre-show cause or summons being issued by the CGST and SGST. The approach by both the departments are totally different. The issues being taken, sometimes whether it would cover under section 73 or 74, whether it is covered by some judicial decisions or not, whether it can be taken up by the authorities or not, and sometimes some issues relating to business audit and other issues. Those all issues, I would not be going into the specific topic, but how to face those issues, how to reply to those notices, pre-show cause notices, even to the summons, the presence thereof, everything has to be considered by the professional. And it is now the time when we have to move from the return aspect or the concept of law aspect to the mode wherein we have to change our outlook to filing replies and giving details, and what details to give and what details not to give, all the consequences to be considered while giving the reply. So even some admissions which has been issued has to be considered and retracted or not. And in the show cause notices, the old practice that we were giving reply in a very cursory manner, in a one-page reply or two-page reply, not asking for some of the 5 commandments. I always say you have to observe the 5 commandments in filing a reply. All these issues would be dealt with our learned speaker, Dr. Gaurav Gupta. It's a wonderful teamwork by the North Zone, led by the National Vice President, Dr. Naveen Rattan, and ably followed by our North Zone Chairman, a faculty in itself. He is a great learned person, Shri H.L. Madan Sahab. I always look forward to him, even if I am sometimes confused. I give him a call and ask sometimes his advice. A great knowledgeable person we have in North Zone Chairman. And not to talk about the Secretary General from the North Zone, a learned speaker in itself, though on the mostly on the income tax side, I would say, but she is ably carrying up the North Zone activities. And then I would simply say, to sum up all the things, we have to follow all the good policies of the AIFTP under the able leadership of Mr. D.K. Gandhi, our national president. We should endeavor that we should at least make 5 members, new professionals. And particularly, I am not asking for the old professionals, but I would ask you all to add 5 young professionals to the fold of AIFTP in the coming 15 days or 1 month time. And by the time we are having a NEC and NTC at Kolkata, at least 5 members from each professional joining this webinar should be given from the North Zone and from all the persons who are joining. And I want youth to be added to the AIFTP so that we become more vibrant and we become more, active in all fields. I congratulate you all for holding this webinar, and I am sure that it would be a wonderful thing to spread the knowledge and to spread the knowledge in the time of need to everybody. Thank you everybody for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Pankaj ji. Thank you very much.
रिमिका मैम, सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट, मैं ना सबको म्यूट कर रहा हूँ, तो फिर जिसको जिसको होगा वो अनम्यूट कर लेगा अपने आप को, क्योंकि ऐसे डिस्टरबेंस थोड़ी हो रही है। हाँ मैम, करें आप।
Further, I request our National President, Mr. D.K. Gandhi, sir, to address the session with your kind words. Sir, is there?
Sir, unmute.
Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, sir.
Very good evening to all. Very, very good evening. This is my zone. This is my house. This is my parent place. North Zone is my everything. So I can't be chief guest at my own home. But still, I am thankful to the team of North Zone for giving me this opportunity to inaugurate the today's webinar. The today webinar is being organized under the able leadership of Shri H.L. Madan ji, our North Zone Chairman, Shri Ranjit Sharma ji, Secretary, M.O.C. Rimika Khera, under the able leadership, under the able support of, I would say, Dr. Naveen Ratan, and all others who are well connected with North Zone. Friends, this is really a privilege for me to be part of you, because what my brother has said about Mr. Madan, he's a real academician, and now he has become the in charge of the North Zone. Friends, why, before I come to the topic or something else about speaker, or I want to share very few small things. What is federation? We all know. But the real purpose of the federation is that every person, every member, besides being a leader, he himself should be an academician also. And this is really great privilege for us to have Mr. H.L. Madan and Dr. Naveen Ratan at the helm of affairs of the North Zone. They both are well versed in their subjects also. No doubt every member is quite competent, but it is really difficult to push the persons of academic excellence to come to take the responsibility of being zone chairman or up to that level. So I am forcing all the future in all my young brothers, young sisters, all persons who are coming to the federation. And we have focused, we are trying to focus to bring all the new talent into the federation meaning thereby new members, new speakers, so that we can have the more knowledge. And one more important thing is, originally there was a system that one person was teaching, other were students. In our federation, there is a culture of sharing the knowledge. We share every time, may it be senior in age, may it be senior in experience, may it be a newcomer, we all are learning and sharing the knowledge with each other. This is the motto of the federation. And what to say about my younger brother, Dr. Gaurav? I know him personally well. He's a very good orator. I will not be adding more adjective. I would be leaving it to all my fellow brothers, fellow members to hear him, and then really congratulating Mr. Madan for selecting Dr. Gaurav Gupta to inaugurate the first webinar of North Zone. So I congratulate all of you. I welcome you all, and I look forward to meet all of you in Calcutta. Let us forget the difficulties in life. This is part of life. We have to come out of our shell. This is a really wonderful time that we should come and meet. We should come to Calcutta by all means. I do not see any difficulty right now, considering the endeavor which we are going to put it. Our East Zone is going to do it. And now coming to this today's topic, show cause notice on GST. According to my understanding, show cause notice is an invitation letter for any professional. It invites you to infuse your knowledge, whatever you have gathered during these conferences, webinar, by reading your books. So what you have to do, you have to put all your knowledge. But the real important part is how much is to be said, how much is not to be said. That is the beauty of a professional when making the reply for the show cause notice. Because sometimes what we do, we know so much. Don't express so much so your knowledge before the authority. Just be specific on the facts and answer the show cause notice what is required. I may be having a wonderful knowledge, 30 years experience, 40-year experience, 10-year experience. No need to portray it. So this is practical part of the life which we have dealt. And one thing more I want to share. We all professionals are now at one place. Somebody has dealt with sales tax, somebody has dealt with service tax, somebody has dealt with excise law. But now the show cause notice is one. It's under one law. So we have to combine all our knowledge at one place and then to utilize in such a way that we get best out of it for our client and job satisfaction as well. So this is the thing which I wanted to share with you on a practical aspect of the show cause notice. Rest I am leaving for the speaker of the day. I congratulate Dr. Gaurav Gupta. And I really congratulate Gaurav you on becoming advocate also, as well as becoming doctor. So this is first time we are hearing you, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, after becoming doctor. So I welcome you. I congratulate all of you. Thank you so very much for making part of this today's webinar. I am not a chief guest. I am as ordinary member of the North Zone first, and then afterwards something. So once again, thank you all. Thank you, Madan sir, for providing me this opportunity, being part of you. Thank you.
Gratitude to you, sir. So now with the agenda of bringing the youth to the Federation, let's move on to the next with our distinguished speaker, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, advocate. Which I will request Mr. Sanjay Sharma, advocate, to please formally introduce our speaker.
Hare Krishna to all the office bearers, members of AFTP, and all the tax professionals and the viewers who have joined us on Zoom and YouTube platform. At the outset, I would like to thank the office bearers who have given me this duty, a sweet duty, to introduce a young member of brothers like Dr. Gaurav Gupta, who is amply blessed by Ma Saraswati and is one of the eminent and famed speaker on GST across the nation. Though he does not need any introduction, but for the knowledge of Ma'am Shukla specifically and all other viewers, his shining and illustrious intro is presented here, starting with his bright academic qualifications. Friends, Advocate Gaurav Gupta is a graduate from prestigious Shri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University, and a law graduate from Delhi University. He is a fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has his Masters of Law LLM in 2021 from OP Jindal Global University. He has completed his ISA post-qualification course of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has obtained his doctorate in taxation from University of France. He is a practicing advocate in Delhi High Court and tax tribunals. Friends, Dr. Gaurav Gupta has more than 18 years of experience in indirect taxation, during which he has extensively involved himself in consulting and litigations of assessee, including multinationals and domestic companies across the range of sectors. He is also an author to many books, titles on GST, including Goods and Service Tax, Law and Practice, Handbook on GST, Law and Practice, GST Hand Guide for Practitioners, GST Manual, GST Referencer and Manual, Audit and Annual Returns in GST. He has authored books on service tax titled Service Tax Law and Practice and Service Tax Ready Reckoner. He has contributed to various publications of Indirect Tax Committee of ICAI and has co-authored compendium of all notifications, circulars, orders and clarifications and determinations in DVAT Act 2004. He is author on online resource on GST. He is a co-opted member of Strategy Perspective Planning and Monitoring Committee of ICAI. He is an elected member of Executive Committee of Sales Tax Bar Association for the year 21-22. He is a founder member of an executive member of Star Society. He has been a special invitee to the Indirect Tax Committee of ICAI for many years. He was co-chairman of Indirect Tax Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce for the year 1920. Was also a member of Managing Committee of ICAI Chhattisgarh and a member of Sales Tax Bar Association for Executive Committee for many years. Friends, one of the achievement which even Dr. Gaurav Gupta missed in his CV is that he is a member of Indirect Tax Committee of AFTP for the year 2017 and as well as for the current year 2022, and also a special invitee to NSE for the year 2022. Gauravji, you missed it, but I have added since I know you much better than you know yourself. Friends, Gaurav Gupta ji has addressed more than 600 seminars on indirect taxes in various forums, seminar and the professional bodies like AFTP itself, ICAI, ICSI, Sales Tax Bar Association, National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and many other forums. Friends, he's also a faculty on GST and indirect tax organized by ICAI and GST Commissionerate. With this sparkling CV, we request Dr. Gaurav Gupta to deliver his deliberation on this intriguing topic of today, show cause notice in GST.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. With the Rimika ji, since you are the MOC, I'll take. Can I start?
Yes, sure, sir. By all means.
As Sanjay bhai has said, मेरी जो भी कमी होती है संजय भाई हमेशा पूरी कर देते हैं. I'm always thankful. He is always an elder brother, a guide, a mentor. Rather, if I talk about this federation, since the very inception of my career, every person, every senior sitting in this particular federation had been a mentor, a guide. If I speak of Gandhi ji, if I speak of Madan Sahab, Ghia Sahab, I have only fond memories of learning or enjoying some, maybe a tour or a conference or any simple meeting with any of them. So I am no result of my own effort. I would say I have been taking and guidance from all the seniors. And specifically, I have been showered by a lot of love and affection by my seniors Gandhi ji, Madan Saab, Srivastav ji. So I'm thankful to each and every one of you. Let me formally start my deliberation today. Very respected National President, AIFTP, Shri D.K. Gandhi ji, Deputy President, Shri Pankaj Ghiya ji, National Vice President, Dr. Naveen Ratan ji, Secretary General, AIFTP, Srimati Jamna Shakla ji, Shri H.L. Madan ji, Chairman, AIFTP, Vice Chairman, AIFTP North Zone, Shri Sanjay K. Verma ji, Shri Ranjit Sharma ji, Secretary, AIFTP North Zone, all the senior members attending this particular program. My dear friends, a very good evening to all of you. It is always a privilege to speak in the Federation. The topic which has been entrusted to me, show cause notice. I think this is the most apt time when we have to listen to this particular topic. Madan साहब आदेशानुसार मैं हिंदी का भरपूर प्रयोग करूंगा.
Thank you, thank you.
जो ये टॉपिक है शो कॉज नोटिस, इस वक्त हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी इसलिए हो जाता है, पिछले 3-4 साल के अंदर सभी डीलर्स ने, सभी प्रोफेशनल्स ने इस कानून को समझा, इसकी कंप्लायंसेस करी, उन कंप्लायंसेस के अंदर बहुत सारी त्रुटियां भी करी, गलतियां करी, उनको फिर ठीक भी करा. कुछ गलतियां आज तक ठीक नहीं हो पाई. और दूसरा एक बहुत बड़ा मेनेस हमारे सामने आया इस जीएसटी के अंदर, वो है फेक इनवॉइसेस का. अगर मैं आज सबसे बात करूं तो सबसे ज्यादा केसेस जो चल रहे हैं ऑल अक्रॉस ऑल कमिश्नरेट्स, ऑल स्टेट अथॉरिटीज, they are more occupied with the fake invoices fiasco rather than the issues which will enlighten, entice a professional. एक प्रोफेशनल कभी भी फेक इनवॉइस के सिंपल मैटर को लेकर कभी खुश नहीं है. वो किस चीज में खुश है? अगर कोई टेक्निकल मैटर उसके सामने आता है. टेक्निकल मैटर की कोई कमी नहीं है जीएसटी में. अगर हम शुरू से बात करें, क्लासिफिकेशन, वैल्यूएशन, input tax credit, both availment and as well as utilization. उसके अलावा आप बात करें place of supply, उसके अलावा time of supply, टॉपिक्स की कोई कमी नहीं है जहां पर एक प्रोफेशनल के पास कितने ही सवाल एक फाइल के अंदर आ सकते हैं. शुरुआत के दिनों में मैं बहुत छोटा सा एक एग्जांपल आप सबके सामने रखूंगा. कई बारी रिटर्न्स के अंदर बहुत सारी टेक्निकल इश्यूज सामने आए. One of the very fondly discussed issue was, sir, ये invoice जो है वो GST 1 में नहीं जा रही. And then there is the junior most in the office who will rush coming because he's the most tech savvy guy in the office. वो सबसे भाग कर आएगा और वो solution provide करेगा. सर एक काम करिए, इस invoice के आगे आप A जोड़ दीजिए और ये invoice upload हो जाएगी. And everybody tried that. And the invoice was uploaded on the GSTN portal and it was seen as a miracle which has happened in the initial days I'm speaking about. सर वो जो miracles हुए थे, सिर्फ एक रिटर्न को अपलोड करते हुए ए बी सी डी जोड़कर या कोई नंबर चेंज कर, वो सब अब हम सबके सामने इश्यूज के रूप में अब प्रस्तुत करे जाएंगे डिपार्टमेंट द्वारा. पर क्या डिपार्टमेंट सिंपल मेरी बुक्स को मंगाएगा, उसमें से गलतियां निकालेगा? मैं इस रिजीम को डिवाइड करना चाहूंगा. जैसे मदान साहब ने कहा, हम में से बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल्स जो हैं वो एक्साइज में, सर्विस टैक्स में या वैट में. Now there can be any kind of commutation combination amongst the three of the erstwhile taxes which we have been practicing. But while I say so, अगर आपने वैट में प्रैक्टिस करी है, आपने सर्विस टैक्स में प्रैक्टिस करी है, तो आपने जीएसटी के एक हिस्से की प्रैक्टिस करी. जीएसटी सबका मिश्रण है, उसने अलग अलग जगह से अलग अलग कॉन्सेप्ट उठा दिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ वी स्पीक अबाउट रजिस्ट्रेशन, तो उसने वैट से बोरो किया. वी स्पीक अबाउट वैल्यूएशन, उसने एक्साइज से बोरो किया. We speak about time and place of supply, उसने service tax से borrow. We speak about compliances. The focal point of today's discussion, show cause notice, it has been picked from the procedure, from the practices of service tax and excise. उन्होंने show cause notice को VAT से नहीं pick किया for a very simple reason. VAT के अंदर show cause notice का concept नहीं था, assessments का concept. हर डीलर अपनी एक असेसमेंट क्लोज कराता था, एक असेसमेंट ऑर्डर पास होता था. असेसमेंट ऑर्डर में आपके फॉर्म्स कम हैं, फिर आप जाके रेक्टिफाई करवाते थे, अपनी डिमांड को कम कराते थे. वो नहीं हो पाती थी तो आपको अपील में जाना पड़ता था. अगर किसी पॉइंट के ऊपर आप और अथॉरिटी जो है यू डिफर, And ultimately, after the appellate authority would pass an order, there is a final demand which will be there for the dealer. Now, my dear friends, इसके अंदर एक जो सबसे सिंपल जो चीज हुआ करती थी वैट के अंदर वो थी कि अगर आपकी कोई भी डिमांड, कोई भी फॉर्म या कोई भी इशू रह गया है, तो ड्यूरिंग द असेसमेंट प्रोसीडिंग यू कुड हैव गॉट दैट रेक्टिफाइड इन वन वे और द अदर. जीएसटी में ये सब पॉसिबल है. GST में the moment we have filed the returns, when I say return, I'm very sensitively using the word GSTR 3B. Honorable Supreme Court, in the case of Bharti Airtel, has made it very clear to everyone that the entire mechanism, ये पूरा का पूरा GST जो mechanism है, ये self assessment mechanism है. आपके पास जो आपकी books of accounts हैं, आपके records हैं, में आपका आउटपुट भी है, इनपुट भी है, रिवर्स चार्ज की डिटेल भी है. तो आपको कोई भी चीज डिपेंडेंसी किसी पे भी नहीं है अपनी डिमांड को कंप्लीट करने के लिए, अपनी डिमांड को कंप्यूट करने के लिए. सर मैं भारद्वाज साहब से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा सर सब म्यूट पे कर देंगे प्लीज माइक, क्योंकि द मेंबर्स आर मूविंग एंड दे आर नॉट अवेयर कि कुछ डिस्टर्बेंस आ रही है. सर अब हमारे सामने जो जीएसटी के अंदर ऑफिसर्स कर रहे हैं, दे आर सेंडिंग अ लॉट ऑफ इंक्वायरी लेटर्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ASMT 10. इज ASMT 10 notice for confirming a demand? No sir, ASMT 10 is not a notice to confirm any demand, but to collate an information, to inquire about something, to see should I or whether do I have a point against this particular taxpayer. It is not a notice for demand. No officer can confirm a demand on the basis of ASMT 10. So how will it proceed, sir? It will be proceeding from the show cause notice. Now, the word show cause notice is not appearing at one place under 73 and 74. Show cause notice पूरे एक्ट के अंदर कई सेक्शंस के अंदर आप देखेंगे वो अपीयर होता है. Section 10 for wrongful availment of composition scheme. Section 21 recovery of credit from the ISD. Section 35 failure to record supply of goods or services. Section 50 interest on delayed payment. Section 51 TDS default. Section 52 TCS default. 63 discrepancy in the returns. 65 detection of tax not paid or short paid during audit. 66 detection of tax not paid or short paid during special audit. 73 determination of tax paid or short paid or erroneous refund or ITC wrongly availed or utilized. And 74 same, आपने अगर टैक्स गलत पे कर दिया है, कम पे कर दिया है, रिफंड गलत लिया है या आईटीसी आपने गलत लिया है, इन सभी कारणों से 73 और 74 का आपको शो कॉज इशू होगा. हमारे सामने जो आज के टॉपिक के अंदर हम कवर करेंगे वो केवल 73 और 74 के शो कॉज नोटिस की बात करें. सर एट द आउटसेट लेट मी फर्स्ट डिस्कस वन स्मॉल पॉइंट. व्हेन यू स्पीक अबाउट 73 or 74, it is only two things which is being counted. Number one, wrong payment of taxes. Number two, wrong ITC. Then they have also added a third point, erroneous refund. इन तीन केसेस में आपके ऊपर शो कॉज रिकवरी का दिया जाएगा. मुझे पता है सारे मेंबर्स जानते हैं कि विदाउट शो कॉज नो रिकवरी कैन हैपन. I am also pointing out very specifically when I am making this statement. 7512 के अंदर एक एक्सप्लेनेशन जोड़ी गई कि अगर आपके GSTR 1 के अंदर कोई टैक्स आपने दिखाया है और आपने 3B के अंदर उसको पे नहीं करा है तो उस पर्टिकुलर केस के अंदर ऑफिसर जो है डायरेक्ट रिकवरी कर सकते. My humble submission to everyone, there is no mechanism between 1 and 3B where a officer can confirm whether the tax in 3B has been shortly paid in confirmation with GSTR 1. Why I say so? Very simply, let me give you a very small example. मैंने अपनी GSTR 1 अगस्त के महीने की 150 रुपए की टर्नओवर दिखा के भरी. 150 करोड़ 150 लाख, I leave it to you. मैंने अपनी 3B 1 करोड़ 20 लाख रुपए दिखा के अपनी टर्नओवर पे टैक्स दिया. Now, sir, there is a difference of 5 crore rupees between 1 and 3B. My dear sir, I might have paid this tax earlier. I might have issued credit note, which I missed to upload in one. I might have missed to pay this tax, which I'll pay in the next return. There can be a number of scenarios, but there cannot be an absolute answer whether the assessee has short paid the taxes if there is a difference between 1 and 3B in a particular month. Unfortunately, I just saw a show cause notice. मैंने एक show cause notice देखा 3 दिन पहले. उसमें ऑफिसर ने क्या करा, उसने 1 की अमाउंट्स उठाई, 3B की टैक्स की अमाउंट्स उठाई और दोनों के डिफरेंस कंप्यूट करे. Now there were months, so I'm talking about April, May, June, July, August, September. कुछ महीनों में 3B ज्यादा था, कुछ महीनों में 1 ज्यादा था. ऑफिसर ने सिंपली जिस महीने में 1 ज्यादा था उसको सिलेक्ट किया और उस पे शो कॉज इशू कर. Now, is it the correct methodology to issue the show cause? No, sir. It is not right. It is totally, factually, prima facie, totally wrong. But my dear sir, we have to face these scenarios. अभी तो ये सिनेरियोस की शुरुआत है. आप इस चीज से परेशान मत होइएगा. सभी से एक रिक्वेस्ट है. जीएसटी इज अ बेबी, इट्स अ नोवाइस लॉ. ये बहुत ही नया कानून है और सभी को इस पर्टिकुलर नए कानून के तहत बहुत सारे ऐसे शो कॉज नोटिसेस आएंगे जो आपको लगेंगे कि दे आर ब्लैंडेंटली रॉन्ग. बट माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, टिल द पॉइंट the show cause notice is not infringing, number 1, any of the fundamental rights, number 2, any of the principles of natural justice, it will not be open for the courts that they will entertain a writ directly in case of such particular show cause notice. एक और चीज जो सबको तंग करने वाली है वो है प्री डिपॉजिट. किसी भी शो कॉज नोटिस का जब ऑर्डर कंफर्म हो जाएगा, उसकी अपील जब आप करेंगे तो उसके अंदर एक प्री डिपॉजिट मैंडेटरी है. वो मैंडेटरी अमाउंट कितनी है? वो 10% और एडिशनल 20% एट द ट्राइब्यूनल लेवल. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 30% ऑफ द टोटल डिमांड which need to be deposited by the taxpayer as pre-deposit. And if it is not deposited, it is not at the option of the officer. It is a mandatory pre-deposit. And my dear friend, if you are not able to deposit that, in that particular case, the entire appeal will become infructuous. इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक
साल लॉजिस्टिक का क्या किया भाई तुमने? वो आया उसका कटल फिट ने उसके नाम डाल दिया जो तूने.
सर मैं सबको म्यूट कर रहा हूँ.
म्यूट सबको कर दीजिए आप.
हाँ जी गुप्ता साहब, आप अपने को अनम्यूट कर ले प्लीज.
सर रियल मीटिंग में तो किसी को भी चुप नहीं कराया जा सकता. कम से कम ऑनलाइन मीटिंग्स का ये सुख है कि सबको आप म्यूट कर सकते हैं. लेट मी मैं इसलिए थोड़ा सा रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, व्हेन द स्पीकर इज इन फ्लो, तो टॉपिक में कहीं पे भी बीच में टूट जाता है तो माफी चाहूंगा. मैं दोबारा कनेक्ट कर रहा हूँ अपने आप को. मैं बात कर रहा था शो कॉज नोटिस के अंदर जो प्रॉब्लम हम सबके सामने प्री डिपॉजिट की आएगी, वो टॉपिक भी मैं आज चैलेंज के तौर पे नहीं ले रहा. आई विल टेक और वी विल डिस्कस दैट टॉपिक व्हेनेवर द टॉपिक ऑफ अपील विल कम अप. नाउ let us first understand show cause under 73 and 74 what is it. अगर किसी भी ऑफिसर को कोई भी डिमांड किसी टैक्स पेयर की निकालनी है, कोई रिकवरी उससे करनी है, कोई अमाउंट उसका कंफर्म करना है डिमांड का, he will have to give him an opportunity of being heard. This opportunity of being heard is called the show cause notice. Now when you say it is an opportunity of being heard, तो कुछ प्रिंसिपल्स हैं शो कॉज नोटिस के जो हर एक कहते हैं इट्स बेस्ड ऑन द ट्राइड लॉ व्हिच हैज बीन लेड इन न्यूमरस ऑर्डर्स बाय द ऑनरेबल कोर्ट्स. नंबर 1, show cause notice will be the foundation for adjudication. It is not a preliminary investigation. Let me distinguish between an investigation and show cause notice. Investigation is a stage जहां पर ऑफिसर डॉक्यूमेंट्स इंफॉर्मेशन इकट्ठी कर रहा है, उनको एसिमुलेट कर रहा है, उनको समझ रहा है और उसके बेसिस पे अपना ओपिनियन फॉर्म कर रहा है. जब उसने इन्वेस्टिगेशन पूरी कर ली, जब उसके पास रिक्विजिट इंफॉर्मेशन पूरी हो गई या उसके पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स सारे आ गए, उसके बाद उसको अगर लगता है, mark my words, I'm simply putting things in front of all of you. अगर उसे लगता है कि इस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे इस असेसी का टैक्स बनता है, या उसने गलत इनपुट टैक्स ले लिया है, या उसने गलत रिफंड ले लिया है, सिर्फ 3 चीजें, टैक्स बनता है, गलत आईटीसी ले लिया है, या उसने गलत रिफंड ले लिया, केवल इन 3 केसेस के अंदर ही वो शो कॉज इशू करेगा. जब हम कहते हैं कि इन 3 केसेस के अंदर वो शो कॉज इशू करेगा, सो आप सर इन 3 केसेस में वो शो कॉज इशू करेगा, तो इसका मतलब उसकी इंक्वायरी कंप्लीट हो गई. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि वो अभी इंक्वायरी कर रहा है, डॉक्यूमेंट्स कॉल कर रहा है, और वो शो कॉज के अंदर डॉक्यूमेंट्स कॉल आपसे कर. In one of these show cause notices, which was issued by a state authority, I will not name the authority because it is a learning phase for all of us. अथॉरिटी ने क्या कहा कि जी हमें लगता है कि आपका टैक्स शॉर्ट पेड है, तो आप एक काम करिए, आपकी जितनी भी टर्नओवर है, नाउ मार्क माय वर्ड्स, आपकी जितनी भी टर्नओवर है, आप उसकी डिटेल्स ले आइए और उसके ऊपर हम आपका टैक्स कंप्यूट कर दें. नाउ माय डियर सर, अगर आपकी अभी तक डिटेल्स ही पूरी नहीं हुई थी, अभी तक अगर आपके पास क्वांटिफिकेशन ही नहीं है, आप शो कॉज इशू नहीं कर सकते. माय फर्स्ट पॉइंट बिफोर एवरीवन इज, शो कॉज इज नॉट एन इन्वेस्टिगेशन. शो कॉज इज पोस्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन. इट इज द फाउंडेशन ऑफ ऑल द एलिगेशन एंड द एडजुडिकेशन. अगर आपकी एलिगेशंस कॉन्क्रीट नहीं है, कृपया शो कॉज इशू मत करिए. अगर आपके पास कोई ऐसा शो कॉज आ गया है जो अभी इंफॉर्मेशन वो मांग रहा है, आप उस शो कॉज को उसके फंडामेंटल्स पे ही चैलेंज कर दीजिए, बिकॉज दैट पर्टिकुलर शो कॉज इज नॉट एन इफेक्टिव शो कॉज. इट इज नॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी.
हेलो,
why this particular amount should not be recovered from, for the very simple reason, if the show cause is still under an investigation mode, it has not materialized, it has not finalized the amount which it is wanting to recover from you, and therefore this is a infractious show cause notice. Number 2, show cause notice should be unambiguous. When I say unambiguous, आप एज एन अथॉरिटी, जब भी कोई स्टेट टैक्स अथॉरिटी या कोई भी सेंट्रल टैक्स अथॉरिटी शो कॉज नोटिस इशू करेगी, इट शुड बी वेरी क्लियर दैट व्हाट एम आई वांटिंग फ्रॉम द assessee. Now let me give you a very small example. A assessee was selling a particular good which it was taxing at 5%. Now the assessing authority, the adjudicating authority, इट इज फाइंडिंग कि नहीं, इसका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो 5% में नहीं आता, वो चैप्टर नंबर 39 में भी आ सकता है और चैप्टर नंबर 52 में भी आ सकता है, बट दोनों के अंदर 18% रेट. और एसएससी ने कौन से चैप्टर में ले लिया, लेट अस से आई एम जस्ट सपोजिंग अ चैप्टर नेम, उसने 64 में ले लिया. तो असेसिंग अथॉरिटी ने क्या कहा कि साहब आपका जो गुड्स हैं वो आपने चैप्टर 64 में 5% पे डिक्लेयर करे हुए हैं और आपने टैक्स 5% दिया हुआ है. इट इज नाउ शो कॉस्ट टू यू एज टू व्हाई योर गुड्स शुड नॉट बी क्लासिफाइड अंडर चैप्टर 39 और 52. सर अगर आप ही को क्लियर नहीं है कि कौन से चैप्टर में होना है, तो इसका मतलब अभी तो आपकी एलिगेशन कंफर्म नहीं है. जब तक आपकी एलिगेशन कंफर्म नहीं है, नो डिमांड कैन बी रेज्ड अगेंस्ट द नोटिसी. It is laid down in a number of cases. Show cause notice should be unambiguous. उसके अंदर डाउट का कोई स्कोप नहीं. जहां आपको लगे अथॉरिटी ने शो कॉज नोटिस इशू किया है और वो खुद डाउट में है, सर वो शो कॉज नोटिस ऑन इट्स वेरी प्रेमाइस दैट द एलिगेशंस आर नॉट प्रॉपर. वी आर नॉट डूइंग एन एकेडमिक डिस्कशन बिटवीन द अथॉरिटी एंड द टैक्स पेयर कि अच्छा आपकी कौन सी क्लासिफिकेशन होनी चाहिए. इट इज अ एलिगेशन. Allegation should be very, very clear. that you are covered under classification chapter HSN 52 or 39, not either of them. If the authority is not confirmed, show cause notice will be struck down by the honorable courts. Number 3, intimation should precede show cause. Now that is a very doubtful case now. Having, why I say so, पहले ये एक mandatory requirement थी, but इसको amend करके the word shall has been replaced by may. But my humble opinion on the matter is, even if it is substituted, the word shall has been substituted by may, this pre-intimation is still required. Whenever you are writing a reply to the show cause notice, you should please write it in your show cause that, sir, you were supposed to first pre-intimate that this kind of show cause is coming to me, and in case I am not accepting that particular intimation, then only show cause could be issued. Why am I saying so, sir? वो इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं क्योंकि 73 और 74 के अंदर पेनल्टीज दी हुई है, और जो पेनल्टी शो कॉज से पहले है और जो शो कॉज के बाद है उसमें फर्क है. अगर शो कॉज से पहले की पेनल्टी मेरे को एक्सेप्ट करनी है, मीनिंग देयर बाय मेरे को तो 15% पेनल्टी देकर अपना केस जो है क्लोज करना है, कंक्लूड करना है, सर वो तभी पॉसिबल है जब मेरे को अथॉरिटी प्री शो कॉज इंटीमेशन ऑफ डिमांड देगी. अगर वो डिमांड में एक्सेप्ट करता हूं, उसको इंटरेस्ट और 15% पेनल्टी के साथ पे करता हूं, तो फिर मेरा मैटर क्लोज हो जाता है, कंक्लूड हो जाता है. देयर इज नॉट इवन अ सिंगल आइटा व्हिच इज लेफ्ट एज अ चॉइस टू द अथॉरिटी, द मैटर विल बी कंक्लूडेड. तो अगर आपके पास कोई प्री इंटीमेशन नहीं आई है, अपने शो कॉज के रिप्लाई में जरूर लिखिएगा, इंटीमेशन शुड हैव प्रीसीडेड द शो कॉज. इन एब्सेंस ऑफ द शो कॉज, द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू pay that particular amount has been taken away from me, and I am forced to reply the show cause directly, which is again an infringement of my right on this particular proceeding. Next, sir, show cause notice must be a proper notice. Sir, एक notice होता है, उसकी क्या-क्या requirement होती है? It should be having a proper issuing person. It should be having a proper addressee. किसको issue हुआ है? किसने issue करा है? कब इशू करा है, उस अथॉरिटी की रैंक क्या थी, वो प्रॉपर शो कॉज नोटिस साइंड होना चाहिए. अगर सिग्नेचर्स भी मिसिंग है, दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉपर शो कॉज नोटिस. उस पर्टिकुलर नोटिस की प्रॉपर सर्विस होनी चाहिए. नाउ हाउ विल दैट सर्विस हैपन? आई वुड नाउ, ये सर्विस कैसे होनी चाहिए शो कॉज नोटिस की? ये डिवाइडेड व्यू है. इट इज डिवाइडेड. व्हाई आई एम सेइंग सो? बिकॉज देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस व्हिच हैव बीन गिवन in the law how to serve that particular show cause notice. However, the option which has been accepted by the courts, Honorable Madhya Pradesh High Court, is that you should upload this particular notice on the portal. If you are not doing so, then it will not a proper show cause notice which has been served on the assessee. So please ये ध्यान रखिएगा कि served is a very, very important aspect in show cause notice. It can be given by tendering in person. It can be given by registered post or speed post. It can be given by sending a communication on email. It can be given by uploading on the common portal, by publication in the newspaper, or if all of this is not possible, on the last known address, it can be affixed on the door. Now, my dear friends, it is written, the mode of service under section 169(1), it is said that it can be anyone. However, it is not in the same, symmetry or numbering the way I have said so. It can be sent by registered post or speed post or by hand. But my dear friend, again, the Honorable Court observed that even though in the section you have given so many choices, when you were speaking about the service in the rules, those particular options, the manner has not been prescribed. What has been prescribed? It should be electronically served. And how is it possible? It is only possible if you serve it using your common portal. So ये please ध्यान रखिएगा, अगर कोई show cause notice common portal पे upload नहीं है, on this point alone, the entire show cause notice can be challenged by the taxpayer. Next, once we have discussed that these are the options, I'll speak about one very, very important case, Shri Shyam Baba Edible Oil versus Chief Commissioner and other. On the bare perusal of Rule 142, Honorable Madhya Pradesh High Court said, a bare perusal of the provision that only mode prescribed for communicating the show cause is by way of uploading the same on the website of the revenue. Shri Shyam Baba Edible Oil. It is the tried principle of law that when a particular procedure is prescribed to perform a particular act, then all other procedure modes except the one prescribed are excluded. So please note this particular case. अगर आपको कोई manual show cause आता है, तो आप simply सबसे पहले quoting the honorable court, you can say, sir, the proper service has not happened. And I'm not saying as a reply. I'm saying as a matter of procedure, a simple letter can be given to the authority that we are not duty bound to answer this particular show cause because there has been no proper service. In one of the very old cases, it is in the time of service tax, what had happened was the proprietor had a entity with the name ABC, and the proprietor also had a private limited, which is ABC Private Limited. Now, in this particular case, which I'm talking about, the notice was served. The notice was served on the proprietorship rather than the private limited, but the demand was relating to the private limited. Now, in this particular case, my dear friend, the honorable tribunal, it held that it will be only the person against whom the proceedings are wanted to be done. Notice can only be served on such particular person. आपको बड़ा क्लियर होना पड़ेगा कि आप प्राइवेट लिमिटेड के अगेंस्ट जा रहे हैं या आप उसकी प्रोप्राइटरशिप के अगेंस्ट जा रहे हैं. You can't say we have missed to write the words private limited in that notice. So in this particular case, the service is not proper and therefore the entire demand will be struck off. So मैं दो चीजें दोबारा से reiterate करूंगा शो कॉज नोटिस की सर्विस के बारे में. Number one, the service should be by way of proper channel, which is uploading on the portal. Number two, it should be on the proper person. It cannot be so that one of the entities has been served and the name is not proper. उसका नाम ठीक नहीं है, उसकी address ठीक नहीं है, GST number ठीक नहीं है, and then you are saying it is a proper show cause notice. No, sir. हाँ, आपने private limited की जगह limited लिख दिया, which is a minor defect, और आपने spelling में हल्की सी गलती कर दी, but GST number ठीक है, then the courts might take a different view. आपको ये please ध्यान रखना है. Let's not go into ultra technical debates. अगर उसकी minor glitch है, then it will not be seen as a improper service. उसपे GST number proper है, it will be seen as that the officer was intending to serve the show cause notice on this number only. Now, as Rimika ji had said in the beginning, she was talking about Audi Alteram Partem. शो कॉज नोटिस और नेचुरल जस्टिस का बहुत पुराना नाता है. अगर कोई भी प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस इन्फ्रिंज हुए हैं तो शो कॉज नोटिस की एडजुडिकेशन को कोर्ट्स ने प्रॉपर नहीं माना. द फर्स्ट वन हैज बीन ऑडी ऑल्टरम पार्टम. व्हेन आई से ऑडी ऑल्टरम पार्टम merely does not mean that there has to be a physical hearing. Physical hearing is a choice to the taxpayer. आप कोई भी शो कॉज नोटिस देखेंगे उसके अंदर अथॉरिटी की लास्ट लाइन क्या होती है? You are also hereby requested to inform as to whether you want to be you want to be heard in person in this particular case or not. So my dear friend, whenever we are writing a reply to the show cause notice, we should specifically in the last line of our reply, we should put it, if we want to be heard, that we request your good self that before passing any order, opportunity to be heard be given to us in this particular matter. So you have evoked your right, you have requested for your right to be heard before the adjudication on a particular issue is made. Number two, nemo judex in res sua, the authority passing the order should be free from bias and prejudice. अगर किसी authority ने पहले ही language ऐसी लिख दी है, it is confirmed that the demand of rupees so much has to be paid by you. Now this show cause is served on you as to why this demand should not be recovered. Now please my dear friend, अगर ऑफिसर ने जो शो कॉज बनाया है वो एक प्री कंसीव्ड माइंडसेट से बनाया है, जो कि उसकी लैंग्वेज में दिखता है कि ये एक फेयर हियरिंग नहीं है. व्हाट इज शो कॉज? इट इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड. अगर ऑफिसर ने पहले ही अपनी प्री कंसीव्ड माइंडसेट से वो शो कॉज इशू करा है कि नहीं नहीं ये तो डिमांड कंफर्म है, इट्स अ मियर मैकेनिकल एक्सरसाइज कि मुझे सिर्फ प्रोसीजर पूरा करना है, सर दैट शो कॉज एंटायर प्रोसीडिंग्स आर विशिएटेड. चैलेंज द proceedings. If you find very strong words in the show cause notice as the demand is surely confirmed, as the assessee was supposed to pay the amount of tax, as the assessee has failed to pay the amount. Now these are confirmations which he has already put up even before he has heard me. So that means that this particular show cause notice is already a mechanical exercise. It is not a fair hearing. And therefore, on the principles of natural justice, the show cause notice should be quashed. Next, nemo judex in causa sua. If you can find a nexus in terms of the officer having any sort of personal interest in passing a negative order against you or a positive order against you, that entire proceedings will be vitiated. No one can judge his own case. Next, proper hearing and not mere formality. Officer should give you a proper hearing. It should not be a mere formality. Why am I saying proper hearing? Sir, अगर notice में time नहीं लिखा, date नहीं लिखी कि कब मेरे पास आपने appear होना है, is it a proper notice of hearing? No, sir. I am not supposed to go there every day to check, sir, मेरे को आज appear होना है. The authority should mention in the notice given for hearing, number one, which is the authority which has issued that particular notice. Number two, what is the date when the notice of hearing has been served? Number three, what is the date of hearing? Number four, what is the time of hearing? Number five, what is the place that hearing is supposed to happen? Physical, virtual, in which room number, which building? All these details are supposed to be mentioned there. So authority जिसके सामने आपने appear होना है और जहां appear होना है, कब appear होना है, सब उस notice of hearing में आना चाहिए. अगर वो नहीं आ रही details, that entire anything which is missing will vitiate the proper hearing and will create it as a mere formality. Number five, the affected party. Now this is very, very important, a part of the show cause notice. आपके पास show cause notice आया, उसमें लिखा कि ये पाया गया कि आपका जो goods है, ये जो आपने services दी हैं, वो services जो हैं आपकी 10,000 रुपए पे नहीं 25,000 पे वैल्यू होनी चाहिए. और ये वैल्यूएशन हमने कहां से अडॉप्ट करी है? ये हमने बाकी ट्रेड के जो बिल्स रेज हो रहे हैं उससे अडॉप्ट करी. अब मैं एक छोटा सा शो कॉस्ट का एग्जांपल लेता हूं. मेरे पास शो कॉस्ट सर्व किया गया कि गौरव आपने एक कंपनी को सर्विसेज दी हैं, वो आपने जो ओपिनियन के चार्ज करे वो 25,000 रुपए चार्ज करे, और हमने पाया कि बाकी ट्रेड ने जो चार्ज करे वो वहां पे 50,000 रुपए चार्ज किए हो, तो आपने अपनी सर्विसेज अंडर वैल्यू. I'm not going into the merits of the case. Please understand. I'm not saying 15(4) को मैं अभी डिस्कस करूंगा, नहीं सर. मैं तो सिंपल बात डिस्कस कर रहा हूं कि सर व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय ट्रेड में पाया गया. अगर आपके पास कोई भी फाइंडिंग है जिसके बेसिस पे आप मेरे पे एलिगेशन लगा रहे हैं, I have a right to see that finding, to see that basis, to see that document कि उस पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट के अंदर कहां पे लिखा है और किस बेसिस पे वो फाइंडिंग्स मेरे अगेंस्ट आपने अलेज करी. कहां ये केस यूज हो सकता है? जब सपोज स्टॉक डिफरेंसेस है. नंबर 2, वैल्यूएशन डिफरेंसेस है. नंबर 3, आपके गुड्स की क्लासिफिकेशन चैलेंज करी गई ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सम सैंपल which is obtained by the authority from some place. All these things, the same sample, same document, same information should be made available to me. I have a right to cross-examine. I have a right to scrutinize. If that right is not given to me, the entire show cause notice will be a mere formality and nothing more. Now, my dear friend, show cause notice जो है एक अपने आप में संपूर्ण डॉक्यूमेंट. मेरे को जैसे अभी भैया साहब ने भी एक मेंशन किया कि हम सोचते हैं कि शो कॉज नोटिस जो है वो सभी चीजों का समापन है, अब तो डिमांड कंफर्म होगी। सर आई एम अ स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीवर that show cause notice is not the end, show cause notice is the beginning. It is the beginning of the skills to be shown by a professional. It is the beginning of understanding a case. It is the beginning of the war or the battle between the taxpayer on that particular demand. ये मैं सोचा सर कंफर्म हो गया, यहां से तो शुरू हुआ है। सर मैं ये बात क्यों कह रहा हूं, क्योंकि शो कॉज नोटिस को जब आप लेते हैं मैकेनिकल एक्सरसाइज की तरह मत लीजिए। मीनिंग देयर बाय, हमने वहां पे, उन्होंने हमसे कहा कि आपकी जो डिमांड है वो 10 लाख रुपए बनती है, और हम क्या कर गए, हमने वैट के तरीके की तरह सारे रिकॉर्ड्स उठाए, हम ऑफिसर के कैबिन में पहुंच गए कि सर देखिए ये मेरा आउटपुट है, ये मेरा इनपुट है, और ये मेरी रिवर्स चार्ज लायबिलिटी है, देखिए मेरे सारे रिकॉर्ड्स, एंड से दैट आई एम नॉट लायबल टू पे दी एनी अमाउंट टू द डिपार्टमेंट. I am not supposed to take and get my entire assessment done before the authority on any show cause notice. Show cause notice means उसने सब कुछ एग्जामिन कर लिया है, और सारे एग्जामिनेशन के बाद उसको सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे मेरे से टेक्स्ट चाहिए। जैसे मदान साहब ने भी कहा था, यू शुड बी वेरी पर्टिकुलर इन रिप्लाइंग टू योर शो कॉज नोटिस। आपको अपने शो कॉज नोटिस में सब कुछ नहीं देना है, सिर्फ आपसे जितना एलिगेशन आपके अगेंस्ट है उतना देना है। अब अगर आपके साथ वैल्यूएशन का झगड़ा है, सर वैल्यूएशन का झगड़ा किस चीज के ऊपर है, कि आपने जो है अपने गुड्स की वैल्यू मदान साहब को जब बेचा तो 25,000 में बेचा, और गौरव गुप्ता को जो बेचा तो 40,000 में बेचा। ना तो मदान साहब आपके रिलेटेड पार्टी में, ना गौरव गुप्ता आपके रिलेटेड पार्टी में, बट दो बिल कटे हुए हैं। यहां पर आपको ये प्रूव नहीं करना कि गुड्स की फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू क्या है। अगर आप चले गए सैंपलिंग में, आप चले गए गुड्स को टेस्ट करा के उसकी वैल्यूएशन कराने में, सर वो शो कॉज नोटिस आप गलत डायरेक्शन में आंसर करने चाहिए। आपको चैलेंज ये करना है कि जो मेरी ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू है, इंडिपेंडेंट पार्टीज के केस में मेरी चॉइस है कि मैं किसको कौन सा सामान कितने पैसे में बेचूं। सुबह एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल ले रहा हूं, एक मिठाई की दुकान है या एक बेकरी है, सुबह की जो ब्रेड है या सुबह की जो पेस्ट्री है वो बिकती है 60 रुपए, और शाम आते आते वही पेस्ट्री और वही ब्रेड रह जाती है 30 रुपए। क्यों सर? दो वैल्यूएशन क्यों? सर ये उसकी चॉइस है, उसको अपना माल बेचना है। दी बिजनेस वैल्यूएशंस विल नॉट बी डिक्टेटेड बाय योर एनी ऑफ द कॉमन सेंस। उसका माल जितने में बिकेगा उसको उतने पे टैक्स देना है। तो आपको ये देखना है कहां पर आपसे क्या सवाल किया गया है शो कॉज नोटिस में। उसके अलावा आपको अपने बाकी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स, बाकी दलील, बाकी रिकॉर्ड्स उस शो कॉज नोटिस के रिप्लाई में नहीं लगा। मैंने ये भी कई बार पाया है, ऑफिसर्स ने शो कॉज दे दिया। अभी मैं अपनी साइड की बात करूं, अभी कैसे कैसे शो कॉज आ रहे हैं वो हम अभी जिक्र करेंगे। क्वेश्चन इतना था कि मेरी जो डिमांड है वो मेरे आउटपुट के ऊपर 50,000 रुपए या 50 लाख रुपए की टैक्स की है। मैं पूरी कॉम्पिटिशन बना के ले जाऊं, सर मेरे को पूरी कॉम्पिटिशन बना के प्रूव नहीं करना। उसने जिस एस्पेक्ट पे मेरे से चैलेंज मांगा है, जो उसने अलेज किया है, मेरे को सिर्फ उतना ही आंसर करना है। अगर मुझे लगता है उसकी एलिगेशन और उसकी वैल्यू नहीं मैच कर रही, मतलब किसी और एंगल से वो वैल्यू मैच कर रही थी बट जो एलिगेशन उसने लगाई उससे नहीं मैच कर रही थी, then that particular value will be challenged on the basis of that particular allegation alone. I don't need to answer any other thing which is not there. Honorable Supreme Court, Vrindavan Beverages, show cause notice is the foundation. If the show cause notice is ambiguous, if the show cause notice does not clearly lay down the allegation, it is not proper on the part of the authority to confirm a demand, because no proper opportunity has been given to the taxpayer to deny that allegation which has been made by the authority. अगर मुझे properly बताया ही नहीं गया है कि मेरी allegation क्या है, तो मैं लड़ूंगा क्या? So ये ध्यान रखिएगा, मेरी allegation जो भी हो वो proper हो, clear हो, unambiguous हो। Number 2, मेरी valuation, मतलब जो डिमांड शो कॉज नोटिस कर रहा है, क्या वो वैल्यू वहां पे लिखी हुई है या नहीं? Unfortunately, in some of the show cause notice, I found that the value is not written. अगर आपने वैल्यू नहीं लिखी सर, तो मेरे से आप क्या डिमांड कर रहे हैं, मुझे क्या? फिर तो आप मेरी असेसमेंट करने के मूड में हैं, जो कि शो कॉज नोटिस का रीजन ही नहीं है इशुएंस का। नंबर 3, एक शो कॉज नोटिस में बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग केस हुआ। उन्होंने कहा कि आपने जो है 10 करोड़ रुपए की सप्लाई करी है 5% के हिसाब से, और आपको टैक्स पे करना चाहिए था 18% के हिसाब से। आप 13% टैक्स पे कर दीजिए, जो डिफरेंशियल। नाउ माय डियर सर, क्या ये प्रॉपर शो कॉज नोटिस है? मैंने अभी कहा उसमें क्या क्या होना चाहिए। एलिगेशन सर क्लियर एलिगेशन थी, क्लासिफिकेशन क्लियर थी। नंबर 2, वैल्यूएशन, वैल्यूएशन ऑफ गुड्स उन्होंने प्रॉपरली उठाई थी, और वैल्यूएशन ऑफ टैक्स भी उन्होंने प्रॉपरली कर दी। तो क्या ये प्रॉपर शो कॉज नोटिस में आ जाएगा? मैं सर्विस वगैरह में नहीं जा रहा, नहीं सर। अथॉरिटी जब तक ये नहीं बताएगी कितना सीजीएसटी, कितना एसजीएसटी, कितना आईजीएसटी, तब तक वो प्रॉपर शो कॉज के कन्वर्जन में नहीं आएगा। जब तक वो ये नहीं क्लियरली ले डाउन करेगी कि उसको कौन सी कैटेगरी का टैक्स चाहिए, क्योंकि तीनों एक्ट्स अलग अलग। तो जब तक सिंगल टैक्स उसने लिख दिया जीएसटी ऑफ रुपीज सो मच, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट अ प्रॉपर शो कॉज नोटिस। इन वन ऑफ द वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग केसेस इन ट्राइब्यूनल, व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, एक व्यक्ति था, उसके यहाँ पर सर्च हुई। सर्च के अंदर उसका स्टॉक जो है वो शॉर्ट पाया गया। अब स्टॉक जो शॉर्ट पाया गया, ऑब्वियसली द डीमिंग फिक्शन विल बी दैट द स्टॉक हैज बीन removed without proper payment of tax. On this allegation, the show cause notice was raised. The assessee, the taxpayer, came to the authority the very next day before the issuance of show cause. But on the next day of the search, उसने क्या कहा, सर आपने मेरी पूरी प्रेमाइसेस सर्च कर ली, बट बाहर 2 ट्रक खड़े थे, उसमें जो सामान चढ़ा था, जिसकी इनवॉइसेस कट गई थी, आपने वो नहीं फैक्टर करा। अथॉरिटी ने एक अच्छा काम उस दिन किया था सर्च के दौरान, लास्ट इनवॉइसेस पे उस व्यक्ति के साइन लेकर अपने रिकॉर्ड्स पूरे कर। अब वो जो 2 इनवॉइसेस लेकर आ रहा है, वो इसका मतलब बाद में इट इज अ आफ्टर थॉट। नाउ डू यू थिंक दैट दिस पर्सन हैज अ गुड केस टू विन? आई वाज थिंकिंग नो, ही डज नॉट। अनफॉर्चुनेटली, out of the sheer excitement of the officer opted a very huge value. उसने क्या करा, उसने जो गुड्स थी उसकी एलिगेशन प्रॉपर थी, सब प्रॉपर था, बट उसने क्या करा, वैल्यूएशन जो थी उसने 10 टाइम्स उठा ली उन गुड्स की। ऑन दिस वेरी पॉइंट दैट द एलिगेशन, द वैल्यूएशन is out of nowhere, it is a fictitious value. The honorable tribunal squashed the entire demand. So पूरा केस एसएससी के अगेंस्ट था, बट शो कॉज नोटिस के अंदर जो वैल्यूएशन थी वो फिक्टिशियस। सो ये मत सोचिए कि शो कॉज नोटिस जो है वो आ गया तो आपके ऊपर सारा ओनस हो गया। शो कॉज नोटिस में प्रूव करना सारा ओनस था। सिर्फ एक चीज का ओनस मैं आपसे शेयर करना चाहूंगा, सेक्शन 155 वो क्या है? ये एक सेक्शन इतना पीछे रखा गया है जिसको देखने का शायद हम कष्ट कभी भी नहीं करेंगे। इसके अंदर ओनस आईटीसी का, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का जो प्रूव करने का ओनस है वो असेसी पे। आई एम सरप्राइज टू सी, क्योंकि मैं प्रोफेशनल फ्रेटर्निटी के बीच में बैठा हूं एंड आई एम नॉट एडुकेटिंग दी अदर साइड ऑन दिस पॉइंट। I am also careful that in the coming times, authorities will take up the show cause notice by stating section 155 कि हमने आपको opportunity दी थी during the hearings, during the proceedings कि आप हमारे सामने इसके proper documents लेकर आए जो आपने ITC लिया है. Since the onus is on you under 155 and you have not been able to meet that onus, why the demand should not be confirmed against you? One, that amount of ITC should not be recovered from you. So please be very, very careful on whom the onus is. If it is a levy, if it is a classification, if it is a valuation, onus is on the department. If it is input tax credit, the onus is on the taxpayer. If it is a refund, onus is on the department. आपको उनकी एलिगेशन देखनी है, एक एक एलिगेशन को बहुत स्पेसिफिकली. I very fondly remember in the days of service tax, which has now returned in GST, classification used to be of utmost importance. Authority ने वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का केस था, असेसी ने काम किया, टैक्स पे नहीं करा था। वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के केस जो है आपको सबको पता होगा, ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट एलएनटी के डिसीजन के बाद services simpliciter cannot be used to demand tax in service tax in the case of works contract. The right law was laid down by Honorable Supreme Court. Now in this particular case, उन्होंने interior decorator services में tax demand करी. Can you believe the entire demand was quashed because the allegation in the show cause is not proper. But अगर आप अपने आप को ऑफिसर की जगह रखते तो आप ये कहते कि सर मेरे से तो सिर्फ क्लासिफिकेशन की गलती हुई है, टैक्स तो असेसी ने देना था। इन दी erstwhile regime and based on that experience, if the show cause notice does not carry a correct category, a correct allegation, entire demand will be struck off, quashed. So please do remember, आपको show cause notice को देखते ही rush नहीं करना। आपकी टेबल पे एक show cause notice आया, सबसे पहले मैं एक बहुत सिंपल चीज मांगता हूं, मैं कहता हूं ये आपके पास सर्विस कैसे हुआ, मुझे उसका प्रूफ दे दीजिए। या तो आपके पास रजिस्टर्ड पोस्ट से कोई चिट्ठी आई है, या फिर आपकी अपलोडिंग हुई है ऑन दी पोर्टल, या आपके पास कोई मेल आई है, मुझे इसकी सर्विस का प्रूफ चाहिए। इन 148 केसेस आप सबको पता होगा, अभी 148 के केसेस सभी as many as 5 honorable high courts have quashed all the notices which are issued after 1st of April 2021. Now, sir, there is one case which came before me where the notice was issued dated 31st of March, but the notice was served on my client at 5 a.m. on 1st of April 2021. Now, my dear sir, is it a notice service on 31st or is it a notice served on 1st of April 2021? As per section 13 of the Information Technology Act, a notice is said to be served or a mail is said to be given to the other person when the mail or that particular communication leaves the server of the person who is giving that particular mail and is entering into an independent zone. आपके सर्वर से अगर वो मेल निकल गई उस वक्त माना जाएगा। So आपको ये प्रूव करना पड़ेगा under the IT Act, if it is a service, at what time the mail had left the mailbox of the officer. If it has gone beyond its control, it will be said that at that particular time it is served. बहुत minor points हैं sir, but किसी केस में इतने crucial हो जाते हैं that we can get the entire show cause notice quashed on this one particular point. But yes, at the end of the day, सबको ये ध्यान रखना है, merits जो हैं, they are of utmost importance. Merit की जब हम बात करते हैं, आने वाले दिनों में कोई कमी नहीं है कि कितने इश्यूज के ऊपर शो कॉज नोटिस इशू हो सकता है। मैं एडजुडिकेशन की गाइडलाइंस वगैरह पे नहीं जाऊंगा, लुकिंग इनटू द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ टाइम, बट मैं दो चीजें आपसे कहूंगा कि एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी को अपने कंफर्म करते हुए एलिगेशंस को, शो कॉज नोटिस की जो डिमांड है उसको अगर वो कंफर्म कर रहा है तो उसको उसकी फाइंडिंग्स रिकॉर्ड करनी है। अब यहाँ पर भी दो चीजें हमने देखी है, बहुत अच्छा शो कॉज बनाया, 25 पेज का शो कॉज आया, 25 पेज में देखा गया सब क्या लिखा हुआ है। तो शुरू में उन्होंने फैक्ट्स लिखे, फैक्ट्स में क्या लिखा, हमने चिट्ठी दी, इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी, उन्होंने चिट्ठी दी, इंफॉर्मेशन सप्लाई करी, हमने चिट्ठी दी और डिटेल मांगी, उन्होंने वाकई अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन हमें दी, हमने क्लैरिफिकेशन मांगी, उन्होंने क्लैरिफिकेशन दी। सर बड़ा अच्छा लगा, 15 पन्ने उस चीज में भर गए। उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा, आफ्टर एग्जामिनिंग ऑल ऑफ इट वी फाउंड that the assessee was not eligible to claim the ITC of rupees 1.6 crores on the following items, और उन्होंने आइटम्स लेकर। अब उसके बाद क्या करा, उसके बाद अगले 10 पन्ने, एक पन्ना बीच में मैंने आपको बताया, अगले 10 पन्नों में पूरा सेक्शन 16 छाप दिया, सेक्शन 17 छाप दिया, सेक्शन 18 छाप दिया, रूल 36 छाप दिया, रूल 37 छाप दिया, और उसके बाद नीचे fondly एक पैराग्राफ कॉपी पेस्ट करके, now you are hereby given an opportunity to show cause why the above demand cannot be confirmed against you. You have every right to reply back within 30 days, after which the matter will be adjudicated ex parte. सर पूरे शो कॉज नोटिस में एलिगेशन कहाँ है? आपने क्या करा? आपने पहले अपनी और मेरी चिट्ठी की बात करी, फिर आपने पूरे सेक्शन कोट कर दिए और बीच में सिर्फ एक पैराग्राफ डाल दिया कि भाई इन जो आईटीसी है इनके ऊपर हमें लगता है कि आपको आईटीसी नहीं मिलना चाहिए। एलिगेशन कहाँ है? क्यों नहीं मिलना चाहिए? That allegation is the soul of show cause notice. If the allegation is missing, entire show cause notice will be infructuous. Very, very carefully also you have to examine one more point. बहुत सारे show cause notices के अंदर एक word होता है suppression, और बहुत fondly सारी authorities कहती हैं the assessee has suppressed the information. Sir, suppression is a matter of fact. And in your allegation, in the departmental show cause notice, the allegation of suppression should also be substantiated. In 90% of the show cause notice, you will find, had this audit or inquiry not been taken, the assessee would have not paid the taxes and the taxes would have been escaped. It is only because of this inquiry, the entire non-payment has been unearthed. Sir, this is not a suppression. Suppression is a deliberate act to evade a tax. You have to tell how that particular amount was hidden. Was there any secreted document? Was there any information which was called on upon by the authority, not given by the assessee? Has the assessee tried to hide certain facts from you? If nothing is there, you simply wrote, we simply replied. Where is the suppression? Or for that matter, if I have filed my returns properly, सिर्फ एक rate का झगड़ा है. Can rate dispute be a matter of suppression? No, sir. मैं सारे टाइम ई-वे बिल भर रहा हूँ, मैं सारे टाइम रिटर्न्स भर रहा हूँ, सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स मैंने आपको दिखा दिए हैं, मेरी इनवॉइस में जो HSN लिखा हुआ है वही मैंने अपने रिटर्न में भरा है. जब एवरीथिंग इज इन सिंक, हाउ कैन अ सप्रेशन बी कास्टेड ऑन द टैक्स पेयर? Very, very sensitively to be seen by the professional who is answering the show cause notice. So ये please ध्यान रखिएगा, आपको बहुत ही फेयरली सबसे पहले एलिगेशन को फोकस करना है, अथॉरिटी को फोकस करना है, जुरिस्डिक्शन को फोकस करना है. बहुत बार ऐसा हुआ है, even an authority who never had the jurisdiction has issued a show cause notice. In that particular case, the entire show cause notice, I understand I'm speaking, before all the learned members, and all of us are aware that if it is issued by an authority who does not have a jurisdiction, the entire proceedings are vitiated, they are void. So please do remember ये point आपको जरूर देखना है. Now I'm also talking about, I'm reminding all the members, I've already spoken about the burden of proof. There are a lot of settled cases. Mere suspicion cannot take place of proof. It appears that the assessee is trying to remove or is removing the goods. क्यों? पिछले साल उसकी जो वेस्टेज थी, जो उसका कंजम्पशन था मैन्युफैक्चर में, वो 5% था, और इस साल जो उसका वेस्टेज आ रहा है वो 7% आ रहा है. तो अथॉरिटी जो है शो कॉज इशू करती है, इट अपीयर्स, आई हैव सस्पिशन दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर assessee is trying to remove the goods without proper payment of tax. Sir, mere suspicion cannot take place of proof. Gyan Mehtani, Honorable Supreme Court. It is well settled that strong suspicion, strange coincidences, grave doubts cannot take place of legal proof. M.M. Matthew, Honorable Supreme Court, 1978. There has to be a positive act of evasion. The allegations should speak about a positive act of removal, a positive act of evasion of tax. A mere suspicion will not help the officer in confirming a demand against a particular assessee. Friends, coming on to the last leg of my deliberation, when I say the show cause notice, what is more required? मेरे को मदान साहब ने एक इंस्ट्रक्शन दी थी, एक सर्कुलर instructions rather, Delhi state authorities ने अभी निकाली है on 1st of February 2022. Now this is issued by the learned additional commissioner LNJ, Law and Justice, Department of Trade and Taxes, Government of NCT of Delhi. I would say it is one of the most welcome steps because it is laying down. It will stop the issuance of show cause notices which are without any guidance. I congratulate the department on issuance of such a document for the very simple reason कि इसके बाद the officers will be issuing more sensible notices, more guided notices, more meaningful notices. And show cause notice अगर इस guidelines के बाहर है तो सबसे पहली बात they have not followed the instructions. On that ground alone, the show cause notice can be challenged. Right, sir? I'm not saying that it will be struck down, but yes, it can be challenged. Now, what are the points? I will talk about each of the point very specifically, and I will put my opinion on that. If any of the members will have any of the difference of the opinion or any clarification is needed, then we take up that point thereafter. The first one, show cause notice should be issued only after proper inquiry or investigation when the facts are ascertained, allegations are prima facie made out. Sir, यहाँ पे मेरा सिर्फ एक ही difference है. The word prima facie should be deleted. It is not a prima facie proceedings कि पहले हमने हल्की सी एक proceeding बना ली अपने mind में और हम confirm करेंगे बाद में. No sir, आपको एक confirm demand अपने mind में बनानी पड़ेगी. क्यों? आपने suppose पहले मेरा अगर material देखा ही नहीं है और आपने उसकी classification कर दी, तो बाद में जब मैं produce करूंगा, then show cause need to be set aside. Show cause issue हुआ था with the allegation of confirming under HSN 52. Later, that show cause notice cannot confirm my HSN under 39 or any other chapter for that matter. I hope I'm very, very clear. If the adjudication order, underline my words, please. If the adjudication order is confirming demand on any of the issues which are not alleged, then that adjudication order will be set aside. It will be quashed by the courts. You can straight away approach the court on that particular matter because the entire proceedings have been against the principle of natural justice. आपके पास वो allegation कभी भी थी नहीं show cause में जिसपे order confirm हुआ, तो आप सीधा high court जा सकते हैं challenging the very order. Second point of the guidance given by the department. It should be strictly in the format and the manner prescribed in the GST Act and the rules. ठीक है sir, DRC 01 में issue करना है, करिए. Third, it should be clear on facts and legal provision. Alleged, please mark the words of the instruction. Alleged violation of the provision of law and other anomalies should be clearly brought out in the show cause notice. अगर allegations clear नहीं है, केवल कानून लिख दिया और facts लिख दिया, entire show cause notice will be vitiated. It will be void. Next, copies of documents to be submitted or compliance to be made by the notice should be mentioned in the SCM. Sir, again, are you calling information from me? Ki Gaurav, I am alleging this particular demand against you. Please produce these documents. अगर अभी तक आपने मेरे documents देखने हैं, तो इसका मतलब आपकी allegation जो है वो अभी भी in the investigation stage है. It is not a stage of show cause notice. Challenge the show cause notice. Do not supply the documents. That is the point, which is the demarcating point between a show cause notice and ASMT 10. ASMT 10 make inquiries. एक नहीं 10 issue करिए सर. पर सर 10 issue करो ASMT 10. 10 के बाद ASMT 11 या 12 भी issue करो. या तो आगे satisfied करो या not satisfied. अभी क्या हो रहा है? ASMT 10 तो issue हो जाता है, पर उन proceedings की कोई conclusion issue नहीं करता ऑफिस, which is totally wrong. If any ASMT 10 will be kept on pending, in my humble opinion, later on that ASMT 10 cannot be confirmed into a show cause notice. Next sir.
गौरव जी, कोई टाइम लिमिट भी फिक्स किया है कि ASMT 10 का रिप्लाई आ जाए तो उसका 11 कितने और 12 कितने टाइम में बनाना है?
सर, अभी तक कहीं कोई ऐसा पॉइंट डिपार्टमेंट फॉलो नहीं कर रहा, अनफॉर्चुनेटली.
नहीं, डिपार्टमेंट तो नहीं फॉलो कर रहा. लॉ में है कोई लिमिट कि भाई इतने टाइम में आपको कंक्लूड करना है?
हमारे पास जो टाइम लिमिट सर दी गई है वो टाइम लिमिट दी गई है in terms of confirming the demand, which is 5 years or 3 years under 74 and 73. Now this is a very very welcome step. इस कानून में unlike excise and service tax, इस कानून के अंदर ओपन नहीं रखा गया एडजुडिकेशन. इसमें कहा गया कि एडजुडिकेशन शुड आल्सो बी क्लोज्ड विद इन 3 years और 5 years. अब बात करते हैं ASMT 10 की. हमें ये कहा गया कि भी ASMT 10 जब आप इशू करते हैं, अथॉरिटी इशू करती है और आपको डिस्क्रिपेंसी बताती है और आपसे एक्सप्लेनेशन मांगती है, तो आपको 30 दिनों का टाइम दिया जाएगा फ्रॉम दी डेट ऑफ सर्विस टू प्रोवाइड दी पर्टिकुलर इंफॉर्मेशन और रिप्लाई. नाउ द पर्सन either can accept that or he can furnish a reply. When the reply is furnished, the proper officer shall inform if it is found acceptable. Inform GST ASMT 12. Rule 99 ने ये नहीं लिखा कि ASMT 12 कितने दिनों में इशू हो, but no proceedings and it's a tried law. It cannot be kept on for an unlimited period. So अगर हम देखें as per law 73-74 will prevail. That's the first point. But then again there has to be a reasonable time within which ASMT 10 should be concluded by the officer, either in the form of 73 or 74 or in the form of ASMT 12 or the SSC except in the form of ASMT 11. So
But
will
the
not-
question is how long assessee should wait for it?
Sir, assessee should write after every 30 days and after the quarter of repeated reminder to the the authority. The last letter should say we presume that the proceedings are concluded. इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं. We can't force him that please अब issue कर दीजिए. You can't force him.
No,
That
he's
is not
waiting.
written in.
Actually, he's waiting for you, to come and discuss with him.
So that is always there. Sir. We don't, again, that is one point is the pain area which professionals like you and me always have. So you have to live very practically, keep on writing. That's what I believe. I have my right to write to the authority and I will definitely use it. हमारे साथ मैंने 90% जगह प्रॉब्लम क्या देखी है, the replies are not written in a serious manner. In one of the I fondly remember a lecture. They were talking about drafting. And when they were talking about drafting may the first rule is first be convinced about a matter. Second, if you are convinced, then write it with your heart. Yes, with the proper legal knowledge. After writing, if you feel that you are convinced with your own reply, then only you can expect the other person to be convinced with your reply, otherwise not. Fight a battle with full conviction. We can't control the action of the other part. Moving on to the next point, sir, with your kind permission.
E.
Possibility of additional, I have already discussed, copies of the possibility of additional evidence being needed or additional anomalies being detected should be kept open during the pendency of the proceeding. Now here, point number E. मदान साहब ने स्पेसिफिकली पॉइंट नंबर ई मेरे से कहा था, पर मैंने पॉइंट नंबर डी से ही शुरू कर दिया कि यहां पर जो एक इंटेंट दिखाई गई है कि आपकी प्रोसीडिंग्स में अगर आपने शो कॉज इशू कर दिया है तो आप अपने आप को ओपन रखिए नई पॉसिबिलिटीज के लिए. सर नई पॉसिबिलिटीज हो नहीं सकती. अगर कोई चीज एलिगेशन में नहीं है तो कभी एडजुडिकेट नहीं हो सकती. इफ अ पॉइंट इज नॉट एलिज्ड, अब सपोज मैं एग्जांपल लेता हूं, केस क्लासिफिकेशन का था, एलिगेशन क्लासिफिकेशन थी बिटवीन चैप्टर 39 एंड 64, बट ऑफिसर को क्या पता चला बाद में जब वो सेल रजिस्टर सामने प्रोड्यूस हुआ, 80% of the sale is made to a related party. Now the officer was very happy because he wanted to confirm on the valuation. My dear sir, he cannot confirm on the valuation. He will have to issue a fresh show cause notice alleging that he is wanting to demand the tax on the valuation. On that particular show cause notice, he cannot confirm the demand on account of valuation. Next, sir.
No, therefore, Gauravji, it means if this point is not correct, Commissioner has told his officers that it will be mentioned in the notice itself that it will be kept open. So can it be challenged in the court?
Yes, sir. सर अगर ऑफिसर ड्यूरिंग द पेंडेंसी ऑफ द हियरिंग आपसे कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट मांगता है और वो शो कॉज नोटिस के एलिगेशंस के बियॉन्ड है, then the entire proceedings are vitiated because they are not going into the manner it has been provided in the law.
No, the question is whether this instruction can be challenged. That is the issue.
Madan sir, should I say something? Gaurav ji, with your permission, can I say something?
Please.
Vinny ji, I'm just adding one point.
I just want to bring one just small thing to your knowledge. This instructions have been issued by the commissioner, although he has not stated so, but it has been issued by the commissioner because he gave an undertaking to the court in the case of Shiv Shakti Magnets Private Limited. He was asked to appear in person. Mr. Ankur Garg was asked to appear in person, and he was shown a show cause notice, and he said that I admit that this show cause notice is vague, and that was only with respect to cancellation of registration. So the court directed the commissioner that you issue guidelines with respect to the contents of the show cause notice with respect to cancellation of registration. Although I think in the guidelines he has not stated so, but these guidelines prima facie he wants to say are only with respect to show cause notices which are issued in the context of cancellation of registration.
Vinny ji, I was not pointing out that case very specifically because these guidelines are not appearing for cancellation. These are general guidelines.
Yes, I agree with you. If they are in general, I agree with you that these guidelines can very well be challenged.
तो मेरे हिसाब से हम guidelines को अगर purely challenge करने जाएंगे, the courts might say it is a more of an academic exercise. Rather, if a show cause notice comes where there is an ambiguity, where there is a improper allegation, where there is a devoid in terms of investigation, I think we should challenge the show cause notice itself. The courts will lay down the law in that particular case only. It will otherwise become an academic exercise merely challenging these guidelines.
And Madan sir, secondly, these guidelines are not in the nature of circular also. So had it been in the nature of circular, we would have stated that it is binding on the assessing officer.
No, Vinijay, question is that these instructions now will be followed up by the departmental officers because it is from the.
So that is what Gauravji is saying now. Once if they follow these guidelines and they issue a show cause notice following these guidelines, that show cause notice should be challenged.
Okay. Sir, it has happened in many cases in the past that if there is a circular or there is an instruction which is not followed because it was later on rectified or whatever, we need to have a clear instance to bring to the court's knowledge. The Honorable Court should look into how it is detrimental to the right of the assessee.
एक मिनट डॉक्टर नवीन रतन से परमिशन ले लेते हैं because time is getting short now.
No, sir. I'll just take 2 minutes to conclude.
1 minute. Okay. आप आवाज खोल लीजिए डॉक्टर साहब आवाज खोल लीजिए. जी डॉक्टर.
Sir, we are already enjoying so much. He is throwing a flood of light on these issues. Let's we should not bother much about time. 5 to 10 minutes are sufficient.
Okay. All right. Gaurav ji, please go ahead.
Please. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhan sahab. Thank you. मैं मदान साहब एक छोटा सा आपको रूल ही बताता हूँ. रूल 90 सब रूल 3. वहां पर क्या है, एक इंस्ट्रक्शन है वहां पे, सॉरी रूल की रिक्वायरमेंट है कि अगर आपने रिफंड की एप्लीकेशन दी है और उसके अगेंस्ट अगर ऑफिसर को लगता है कि देयर इज अ डेफिशिएंसी इन योर रिफंड एप्लीकेशन, ही विल इशू अ डेफिशिएंसी मेमो. In response to the deficiency memo, Rule 90 sub Rule 3 of the CGST rules require you to file, mark my words, fresh application. I'm keeping fresh word in the inverted comma.
Yes.
Sir, उसमें क्या होता है, fresh application फिर जिस दिन मैंने दोबारा फाइल करी, सारे provisions including limitation officer उस दिन से consider करता है.
Very right.
Now that is also written in para 12 of the circular number 125. In the circular it was written. We never challenged the circulars in isolation when the case came up before us. So we have gone before Honorable High Court in which notice has been issued by the Honorable Delhi High Court, whereby we were able to show that how this fresh word is being detrimental to the rights of the assessee. तो सर जैसे ये केस आएगा तो हमें
सौरभ भाई बात ये आ रही है कि the members are saying that commissioner has issued this circular and this instruction is wrong, it is not as per law, therefore bar should write to the commissioner to rectify it, or otherwise the bar should represent it in the court. That is the issue.
Sir, the bar should represent before the commissioner. That is my humble request.
Okay.
It is our right to tell or request the commissioner that, see, you have issued these instructions, but at the end of the day, are you still wanting your officer to carry out the investigation when the show cause is issued? So you are diminuting, you are taking away that line between investigation and allegation. Investigation and allegation are two different terms. So, Madan sir, on that point, sir,
Yes.
I completely agree with you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, point number F, copies of detailed reason given for show cause should be attached with the show cause. Very well said, sir. हमें show cause के reason मिलने चाहिए. Next, बहुत ही instruction के अंदर मैं एक छोटा सा आपके सामने point ला रहा हूँ. Prima facie amount due, if any. First of all, amount due, if any. अगर amount due है ही नहीं तो show cause क्यों? If any क्यों लिखने की जरूरत पड़ी? If any needs to be quantified and should be manifestly specified in the notice itself. Possibility of raising additional demand should be kept and mentioned in the notice. Sir, are we actually talking sense? कि आप ये कह रहे हैं कि possible additional demand भी इसमें रखें, मतलब show cause की last line क्या होगी? After the examination, if I still feel that there are other demands or other amounts which are recoverable from you, please be ready for those particular confirmation also. This is not a show cause notice. कभी भी शो कॉज नोटिस में जो डिमांड एलेज करी गई है उससे ज्यादा डिमांड कंफर्म नहीं हो सकती. इट इज एन इन्फ्रिंजमेंट. अगर उससे ज्यादा डिमांड कंफर्म हुई, दैट मींस द न्यू एलिगेशन हैज कम अप. एंड अगेन आई एम डिवाइडेड.
It means G is also wrong. So E and G both are wrong.
D is also wrong, sir. D is also wrong. Let me.
It is very easy to decide all these issues right now.
D, let's not say it is wrong. Let us say that these particular instructions are infringing my right. Audi alteram partem, they are against the principles of natural justice. I would put that representation.
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate. Not a fair hearing to my taxpayer. Next point, sir.
Correct.
Authority to which SCN is answerable should be specifically stated along with ward designation, email ID. All SCN should be disposed of within statutory limit. I think apart from 3 clauses, it is a nice step, but I would have been more happy. I would draw the attention of all the learned members here. There is a complete document issued by NASIN, which is a very, very mature document on issuance of show cause notice. NASIN is the training body for the central excise officers. शो कॉज नोटिस के क्या क्या कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स हैं, कैसे सर्विस होनी है, क्या क्या डिमांड्स आप जैसे अलेज कर रहे हैं कंफर्म कैसे करनी है. दैट डॉक्यूमेंट इज वेरी मैच्योर्ड. प्लीज इफ यू वांट टू लर्न हाउ टू सी अ शो कॉज नोटिस, आई एम वन पर्सन हु वुड से प्लीज सी दैट नासिन डॉक्यूमेंट. आप डिपार्टमेंट के ही इंस्ट्रक्शन से जितना सीखेंगे उतना ही बेहतर आप रिप्लाई कर पाएंगे एज अ प्रोफेशन. एंड लास्ट and but not the least, in my entire deliberation, I would request every member. Show cause notice को कभी भी reply हम करें, हम अपना focus बड़ा clear रखें और अपनी पूरी जी जान. I'm very specifically using the words, I should put all my efforts and endeavors. I should not leave any single information unattended, unanswered, unprovided in reply to that particular show cause notice to the authority. We should be very, very careful and we should not leave anything for or after the period when the reply to the show cause has been concluded. For the very simple reason, otherwise we might get stuck into the nuance that additional evidences have been produced before the appellate authorities which they might not entertain. So GST, as we all know, it started with good and simple texts, and later on it has been given many other names. Every person has his own choice of name for GST. But I can tell you, it was a dream. I, being a practitioner in income tax for more than 18, 19 years now, it is a dream for any indirect tax practitioner to have GST. But the way GST has been implemented, the way the problems have come up in GST, the way both a genuine taxpayer and a professional has faced a lot of issues, a lot of problems, a lot of tough timelines in GST. There can be a lot of complaints, but my dear friend, GST is the only law which could have and which has taken this country into one unfragmented economy. I would not say it is a one nation, one tax. I would say it is one nation, uniform tax. From the very first day, I've been saying it is not one nation, one tax. It is one nation, uniform tax. It is one law which has removed the arbitrage of taxes, the arbitrage of professional opportunities from different states. Today, Madan Saab and myself can work in, represent a client in Bihar, Jharkhand. I don't have to bother to read the entire law of that particular state in terms of GST. I know the law. It is a uniform law. I can practice for Tamil Nadu client. It's a uniform law. So it has removed the barriers for both trade and professionals. But there is a lot to learn. I, being a student of this subject, being in love with indirect taxes since the inception of my career, I just find that this is a temporary phase. And once it matures, we will see quality deliberation, quality issues being discussed between the taxpayer and the government departmental officer. And sooner we will be actually moving into the regime where we can say, yes, if it is not simple, but yes, it is a good tax at least. So with these words, I thank all the office bearers, all the learned members attending this seminar to give me this opportunity to present my view on the subject, especially Madan sir. Thank you, sir.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, sir. Your analysis clearly indicates your intellect and devotion towards the subject. The way you have summed up the entire topic has educated us to a great extent. With regards to the provisions related to SCN, its proper service, right of fair hearing, and how it is different from an investigation. But still, it is very unfortunate. After approximately 5 years, the SSC and even the department are struggling with the uncertainties of this law. But we should keep in mind, as you said, that it's just the beginning and not the end. Well, on a positive note, the size of the participation during your talk is the testimony to how thrilled everyone was to listen you, sir. And with this, I invite our participants for an open interaction with our speaker, with their questions, if any. Any one, if want to ask a question to our speaker, he or she is fully invited.
You want them to raise the hands or what to do?
They may openly, sir. I don't think.
How many questions are otherwise there?
Sir, no question.
No question.
So all the questions have been asked by me.
Madan Sahab, lecture was so elaborative, there was hardly any scope for any question.
So please conclude, sir. Then please conclude.
Okay, sir.
गुप्ता जी ने अपना जो है सेशन है इस तरह से प्रेजेंट किया है कि किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन पूछने की जरूरत नहीं है, सबके क्वेश्चंस साथ साथ क्लियर होते गए हैं.
Excellent. So डॉक्टर साहब को conclude कर दीजिए.
जी.
As it's very rightly said that one has to be connecting and appreciating, and there is no other person better than in doing this than our National Vice President, Dr. Naveen Ratan. So I have to conclude the session by ceremoniously presenting a vote of thanks. So please.
Thank you, Rimika ji. Am I audible, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Rimika ji.
Thank you so much.
For the sake of brevity and convenience, I won't take the names of my all friends, but I welcome everybody who is directly or indirectly associated with this webinar. Webinar was superb. It was apparent from the participation of the members was around about 100 and the total strength was 100. Am I right, Mr. Ranjit?
Yes sir, it's more than 100 क्योंकि YouTube पे भी लोग देख रहे हैं और इस पे भी है हमारे.
So for that, Madan Sahab and his whole team deserves full appreciation that such seminars should be continued with double vigorous strength in the coming days. It will certainly improve our stamina to have such seminars so that we can share our knowledge with it. So for Mr. Gaurav, Dr. Gaurav Gupta is concerned, at one stage I felt as if that he is giving a lecture in university to law students. It reminds me when I was a visiting professor in Guru Nanak Dev University in the Department of Law, I used to explain all intricate things in a simplified and simple manner. Assume like this, if it happens like this, if a notice is issued to you, you have to examine the notice, you have to see the contents of the notice, then you have to apply your mind, you have to see the law, you have to find out the rulings given in your favor. Only then you should give answer to the notices issued to your clients. So his lecture was so good, so simple, and honestly speaking, he has thrown a flood of light and he has covered almost all the aspects. It hardly requires any further explanation. He has touched that what officer should do. He has stated what advocate should do. He has stated what is the attitude of the court towards the notices, towards the show cause notices which are not sustainable in the eyes of the law, and we should freely go to the courts in order to get a relief where the notice is prima facie or you are of the opinion that it violates your fundamental rights. You can easily go to the courts. Similarly, the officers should be given proper reply, and moreover he has emphasis what in the last point he has emphasis, which has appealed to me a lot, and identically Mr. Gandhi has also emphasized on the same fact that when you get a notice, you should be very brief in giving a reply. You should be careful the words which you will use. Brevity is the soul of convenience. You should know these words will help me in the future or not. So if I say, if someone asks you about time, please do not reveal the history of the watch. Say it is 6 o'clock. Don't say, but this watch has been given to my grandfather on the eve of my birthday. In simple words, drafting aspect is a very, very crucial. Drafting aspect is very crucial when you submit your reply to the officers. In show cause notice, what is important that you should be constantly aware of your rights. What are your rights? Then what law says and how that law can be utilized in your favor. Ultimately, it is the show cause notice which is a be all and all of all the tax litigation. Because tax litigation, as Mr. Dr. Gaurav, I'm sorry I'm using word, Mr. Doctor is a more appropriate word. Dr. Gaurav has emphasis on the fact that you should, sorry. What I was saying, it's out of my mind. He has said when the notice is given to you, you should be aware of this fact, whether the officer was within jurisdiction to issue the notice or not. This is the first aspect is to be seen. Then you should see whether what he has demanded from you is it justified to ask for you. He has recorded the reasons for that. Only then these notices will sustain in the eyes of law. Otherwise, the courts will take a minute to struck it off. Therefore, when I say it starts, if the notice is ambiguous, not clear, contents of the notice are not clear, then such notices are unsustainable. Such notices will bring uncalled litigation in the courts. And officers will also face a very, something, you say, what they have done. They will feel themselves that what they have done, that will not be sustainable because they have issued a wrong notice, unsustainable notice in the eyes of law, because such notices, such demand, if at any rate, will not be accumulated by the officers at the later stage. So what I need to say is shortly, I need not to recollect all the versions made by Dr. Gaurav Gupta. He has elaborately explained, and we all are aware of all these laws. Only important issue is that we must be careful about our rights, and at the same time, we should also know what is the latest law prevailing about this show cause notices, so that we can get the benefit in the course if at all any problem arises at any stage. Thank you very much for that.
Sir, हमारे
Friends,
members-
we recognize the presence of all ladies and gentlemen who were present in the webinar, whose names may not have been taken by us. And one information was coming from the secretary that he kept a waiting room where 5, 6, 7, 8 people were waiting because they were not allowed to enter, because at one point of time some noises were coming, and he felt that from some particular connection those noises are coming, and that is why he kept those 7, 8 members waiting in the waiting room and did not allow to enter into it. So please, we are sorry for the inconvenience caused because of that reason. Later on, I think he slowly he started clearing it. But even then, there may be some, if somebody is left in the waiting room, please sorry for the inconvenience. Yes, Secretary sir.
हाँ सर, दो मेंबर्स हमारे, एक सीए श्री राम जी और मिस्टर रोहित कुमार हैं, इन्होंने हैंड रेज किए हुए हैं, तो हम चाहते हैं कि इनको एक बार सुन लिया जाए.
So in the meantime, one that madam from Leh and Ladakh, she has also come again in this webinar, and we recognize her presence also, and you can ask the questions from the members. Yes.
हेलो, हाँ जी,
उनको कहिए ओपन करके.
श्री राम जी, आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट करें. सीए श्री राम जी. रोहित कुमार जी.
Good evening, sir. Sir, can we have a circular of instruction sheet?
Yes, we can have. You can have it from me. It is available with me. It is dated 1st February 2022. But this is relating to Delhi only.
Yes, I am in Delhi, sir.
You are not member of Sales Tax Bar Association?
I am member of STV.
So it has already been circulated over there?
I have not checked, sir.
Okay, then you can send me the message. I will send you. It is already circulated.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
हाँ जी, सीए श्री राम जी. सर मेरा ख्याल वो चले गए हैं.
चलिए, कोई बात नहीं.
Madan sahab, it was an excellent show full of full strength, and the whole credit go to the North Zone team, and we expect many more to come.
रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप कर दे.
सर सब कुछ आपको करना पड़ेगा. हम तो आपके जैसे आप इंस्ट्रक्शन देते जाएंगे, हम करते जाएंगे.
नहीं, आज बहुत अच्छा शो गया, बहुत अच्छा जो गया. डॉक्टर साहब ने बहुत अच्छी बातें बताई हैं.